Where's my output? Check, check, check. Where's my output? Where's my output? There we go. Check, check. Alright, are we streaming? Yes, we are. Awesome. And where else are we right now? I haven't done this in so long. We're so... Okay, cool. We're on YouTube. Yes, we are. Awesome. Alright. And let's get everything else activated. Boom. 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 And last but not least, boom. Boom. What is up, team? We are back again with another episode of the Propaganda Factory Live. Thank you for everyone that is tuning in. Sorry for the cadence. To be honest, I've been creating and doing other things personally, and so I just haven't had as much time to put into the podcast. Plus, just with life and the plethora of emotions that a person feels, you don't always want to just be getting on. And even with everything that's going on in the news every day, I know that there's a lot of stuff to talk about, but there are a lot of other people in our network that we help to boost, and essentially those people are the ones that I've at least just been trying to make sure to give some extra energy to, in terms of getting them just a little bit more integrated into the platforms. And that's actually, we have a guest today that will be coming up here in 1 second. With that being said, I just wanted to take a brief moment for our disclaimer today, that if you or a loved one or anyone anyone that you sense, if they're struggling with mental health, please make sure you access the free resources available. 988, I know it's not working the exact best right now with this administration, but all of the free resources available, the free communities available, reach out. You're not alone. With that being said, I would like to just briefly about myself right before I got on. I've been happy. I've been in a good place. I've been creating. I've been living my life, having a fun time. And today was a good day. I was happy today. But in this 30-minute crunch before I got on here, I don't understand why I felt it, but I felt very, I don't know. It was not what I wanted to feel. Crippling anxiety, little mixes of depression, all kinds of longing for nostalgia, missing my friend. I don't know. It's a lot in a brief moment of time. And that's why I just wanted to take a moment to say that, you matter and we matter. And the day is fast and emotions are quick. Take a moment, breathe, and thank yourself for continuing to get through all of the struggles, because, you're the only one that can get yourself through it. With that being said, we are going to bring up our guest. We have Cap Neurospicy, one of our new members on the team. Hey, what's up, buddy?
What is up?
Check you have a bit of an echo. And I have to maybe turn your mic off and back on, or are you using headphones? But yeah, while he's getting that sorted, 1 second. One of our newer members on the team. Yeah, do you have headphones?
Yeah, I have a pair, but not on me. Not I'm using them.
Yeah, use because that's what's making you echo right now. Just a little production experience. Which we are live right now on the Propaganda Factory. 7 platforms. The Propaganda Factory live on 7 platforms, uploaded to, I don't even keep track. It's too many to count, but we're working hard. I know that we haven't been putting out as much content, but we still are pumping. And with members like Captain Nero Spicy, you know, we are able to kind of focus on different tasks and continue to keep that propaganda pumping, boost people that are working hard. You got your audio? You're good now?
Let's hope so.
Amazing. Yeah, you sound perfect.
Fantastic.
So what do you want me to call you? You know, this is our first time speaking.
You call me Diego. That's fine. That's my first name.
All right, Diego, let's go. All right. So Diego, you know, I'm a little bit rusty. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't even been doing the talking, let alone talking to, you know, the creators and stuff like that. So normally how I like to start these things is I like for you to talk about yourself a little bit, you know, give whatever introduction that you would give to, you know, whoever, explain it in your own words. And then I like to, you know, sort of start getting into some questions and things like that from there. And then we'll talk about whatever's going on in the news and things like that, because it's always something today. So, you know, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Diego. I came here when I was 4 years old from Cuba, born there. Came here, 97. I joined the Navy after college, became an officer, got out after 6 years, and now my next step is a little bit of journalism, and then a couple more months, law school.
Oh, so you're going to law school?
Hell yeah.
That's interesting. We'll get into that. So, thank you for that. Wow. So, you've given me a lot already from that, but let's go. And so your platforms, what are your different platforms? What are you on? Let's give me a little rundown from that.
Well, I started off my stuff here on TikTok, mostly making AP audio back in the day, and then after Trump took over and I got over my depressive slump, that I really gotten over and like dealing with, I decided to start doing some journalism stuff, and that makes me feel productive and helpful to the community as a whole.
That's good. And so you have the TikTok, and where else are you?
I got TikTok, I got Facebook, I got Insta. I have other platforms I really don't use because I don't really feel like I get much interaction on. Are
you on Substack at all?
I have a Substack, I just don't really use it.
Okay. Well, you're live on Substack right now, so you know. Right. We got to make sure, at least what I preach to all the creators, especially in the network, is you want to make sure to be all the places that you can be simultaneously if possible, because we need to be everywhere. I know it's a lot, especially because we're the ones that's doing it all. Maybe one day we'll have it super streamlined, but that's what makes it fun and authentic, is that it's us kind of bootstrapping it on every different platform. But especially Substack, because Substack, for the type of content that you're making, Substack is going to be a very natural fit for you. In the videos and stuff that you're making, it's very easy to pull source material and just write a very brief overview of that in combo with your videos and whatnot. So you'll be able to streamline your content creation and stuff. Because I don't focus on the news heavy aspect of it. I'll talk about the news and stuff, but it's a little different exactly what I do. But for the news people, Substack is perfect. And if you don't want to, or if you want to grow yours and be part of what we're doing, because our Substack is community based. I kind of let other creators and other people contribute to our Substack, because that just kind of feels a little more authentic and natural to me. I'm not really trying to write every day. I like writing, but I don't know, people, if I'm doing this and I'm doing everything, people don't want to see me all the time. People want other people too. So, I would invite you, if you start doing it, you're more than welcome to come on, and start contributing to the Propaganda Factory Substack and whatnot. And yeah, and you get to like whatever you set yours up, and you can boost it and whatnot. And like it's all at least that's how I'm trying to design it, to make sure that everyone has access like to the bigger platform, but at the same time like we're working together and like we're all growing like simultaneously and spreading the good word for the working class. So how long have you been in the content game? You said that you started around when Trump so 22. So you've only started doing this since 22?
So I started doing the AP audio and music stuff around 22. Then around 24, 25, in that area is when I started doing the journalism thing.
Did you do you have like a rough total for your follower count right now? Because I know on Facebook you've just kind of popped a little bit, and I can't see what you have on here.
I've been making like 5 to 1,000 a week. It's been great.
Yeah, I've been doing crazy.
53. Yeah, I'm like at 53 on Facebook and 64 on TikTok. So total like.
That's 100, yeah. And what about Insta? What you rocking with on Insta?
2.
Nah, it's fine. So you got a cumulative count of like 100, 15, 116. You say, well, we'll give you 120. I was just doing my math before I got on, and I'm up to like almost 325, I think.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just in the last couple of months, it's been insane, and we haven't even been like putting out a lot of stuff. One funny thing is I put out a video, which for the followers and whatnot, y'all might have seen it when I first put it out because we had a lot of traction. But for everybody that's listening to the podcast after the fact, we had put out a video. It was just me asking about survival chemistry and just chemistry in general, and it has gone. I wouldn't say it's completely viral, but it's getting there. We're nearing like 700 something thousand views, and I can tell you it's gotten to the wrong side of Facebook. It has gotten to the trailer park cooks. A lot of people want to know how to do some things that I will not help them do, unfortunately. It's a funny thing, the first thing anyone, because I'm a chemist in real life, and so the first thing anyone always asks me is like, can you do it? Of course I can, but I'm not going to. Those street days are behind me. But so that's one of the interesting things. The content game really is so funny. You never know what's gonna pop. You're always making the different things and coming up with the different avenues and whatnot. And that's why yours with the news, it's constant, it's consistent. And you have a good personality that you bring to it. I watch your videos to kind of stay updated because you're pretty like on the ball with the breaking news, and your videos aren't really super long, and the longer ones, you're given a decent chunk of information. So
yeah, I try to keep it nice and short, mostly because one, I don't have the attention span, and I've also noticed that Facebook likes anything that's under 30 seconds. So once I noticed that, I just said, okay, I'll just tailor my stuff a little bit back, and the bigger news that has a lot of information, I'll stick to throwing on TikTok every now and then.
Right. And so you said that you are a Cuban immigrant, eh?
Yeah. Came here when I was 4 years old.
And so what would you say, that's a very unique experience, especially for what is occurring right now in the country. And so what would you say, is your perspective that you're bringing to, some of the things that's happening now?
I don't believe it's really much of a new perspective, but it's one that many can get behind, that this whole like ripping families apart and just going to immigration courts and just taking people from their after they're done with their proceedings and just, pulling people out who are legally allowed to be here, and they're just maybe off by like, let's say they miss a one court date by accident. I feel like it's way too much, completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
But I also recognize that might be the point.
Yeah, no, it is. I would say for sure it's fear. They want to go above and beyond. Um, you grew up in an immigrant community, or did you grow up, you know?
No, actually,
Okay.
so we came in through Miami. Of course, we flew here.
Okay.
We got here by the Levy Salt lottery, so we got lucky. But my parents, after they were done, settling themselves in Miami, went straight over here to North Fort Myers, Cape Coral area of Florida. And back in the day, growing up, it was flat and empty. So
Yeah.
not very immigrant friendly per se.
Right.
So I learned English pretty quick, and I don't really have much of an accent because of it.
How did you come up with the name, Cabanero Spicy? So, like, what was your idea behind that branding?
So Cabanero Spice is something that I for some reason I've always had a fascination with pirates. Not sure why.
I can.
The romanticization of them is something that I always loved. So that's where the cabin came from.
Yeah.
And the Nero Spicy is I was actually diagnosed with ADHD while I was in the Navy.
Gotcha. And you said you did 6 years in the Navy?
Yeah, 6.
And what, on Facebook, you're what, Moreno Neurospicy News?
Yeah. That's my last name. So you, throw that on there, that way I can get verified.
Yeah, I was about to say, you just gave your whole government name online. You gotta be careful, buddy. But I guess when you're doing journalism, it's a little different,
It'll kind of happen eventually.
Yeah, believe me, I know that's definitely a fact. My day's coming, I'm sure. But if I keep pissing off these maggots, my day's definitely gonna come. They're gonna, especially because I live amongst them. So
my mom was actually talking about me today to one of my cousins, saying that she's surprised that they haven't knocked on our door, taking me out to jail yet for all this shit that I've been talking about, Trumpy shit.
yeah, I mean, honestly, that's part of the reason why I make sure to continue to do this. I'm not sure, because I feel like we linked, it's been a minute. I feel like we linked maybe 4 or 5 months ago or 3 months ago. I can't keep track. But, I was doing the Antifa CEO thing last year, and, just the authentic, blatant propaganda factory branding. And that's really what we're doing is, we're pushing the boundaries. We have the rights. If you look at what Afro Man just pulled off, we have these First Amendment rights. And so we might as well use them to the fullest extent and make sure that we have people that are doing it consistently and boosting those people and making sure that we're lifting those people up, because that's the people that we want to see, be more successful online and whatnot. That was the original conception of this entire project with the podcast and whatnot. I ideally wanted to have guests all the time, but that's, I don't know. It's a lot to schedule and stuff. We all have lives, things fall through, but, so
Life is complicated.
Yeah, life's so complicated, but it's so beautiful. That's one of the more beautiful things, like I was saying before you came up. I felt such a range of emotions before getting on here just to talk. We're not even doing nothing crazy. We're just having a conversation. Such a wide range of emotions for no reason, but you feel them, and that's what makes life beautiful sometimes.
100%. I pretty much felt the same. Like, man, am I gonna say something stupid? Am I gonna make myself look like an idiot? And then, it's all the anxiety that comes with it.
Yeah, and you're in your own head. It's really, I don't want I don't want the whole episode to be about that, but it's such a fascinating thing, because it's not only for, look, like you said, you have 100-something thousand followers, and so realistically, like, you're getting on camera and whatnot, like, all the time. Same for me. Like, I haven't been doing it as much, but like, I get on camera like all the time. It's nothing to just flip the camera on. But why? Why was I feeling crippling depression and anxiety for something? It's just, and even little things in life. It's like, I have to go to the store today. Damn, day ruined. It's so funny. Yeah, and then it's like, other days it's like, oh, I have to go to the store today. Today's gonna be a great day. Like, la-di-da-di-da. It's so funny what makes us tick, what makes humans. But maybe I'm a little neurospicy. Who knows? I think we all are in some regard, especially with the system that we're living in.
Exactly.
So you say that you have plans to go to law school. What's your ideas behind that?
What do you mean by ideas?
I mean, what, what, what is inspiring that trajectory? I would say because, I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of might have some aspirations for that, but it's like for me, a lot of money. I don't know if I could write that off on the content game taxes. I'm gonna have to talk to my CPA, but so what's inspiring that for you?
Well, the Navy's gonna pay for it because GI Bill, so that'll make things a lot easier.
Yeah, damn, huh? Serving your country. Thank you for that, by the way. Especially since you're on the left, you get a proper thank you. Thank everybody, but you get the better ones. We have favorites. I'm not even gonna lie over here on the Propaganda Factory. We definitely have favorites, but damn, that's true, huh? I should have signed my soul over.
Well, I got lucky. I really didn't have to do too many questionable things while I was in, so
Yeah.
thankfully I got out pretty scot free, ish. Just
Ish. I mean, a little PTSD, but again, mental health awareness. We're always gonna make sure to talk about that and put that at the forefront, especially with what I've experienced recently. Mental health is very important, everyone. So please access those free resources. But damn. So the Navy is going to pay for you to become a lawyer. That's interesting. So did you already go for undergrad and whatnot? Like you already?
Yeah. So I went to college. Did 4 years. Went for cyber forensics, information security.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you,
just talk.
And I don't want you to be insulted. But by the way you look in your videos, you saying that you went to school for cyber forensic security, that's valid. That's very valid.
I fit the stereotype.
You, in a way, you do.
That's fair.
But okay, so I mean that's a very interesting. So how are you still doing that? You're still doing that as your career right now. You're still working, right?
I actually never got into that as a career. That's the funny part.
Really?
Not at all. So initially, I did my cyber forensics degree. I learned a little bit about how a hard drive works, how to go in a hard drive,
right?
Make a bit by bit copy of it, and take off information people may have deleted on it. But I went in and I wanted to just actually fly for the Navy. I wanted to be a pilot,
right?
And just things didn't work out, and things got a little jumbled. I went to some different avenues. Became a cyber warfare officer, and then after a bit got out. So I never actually got to touch any of my actual degree stuff.
Hey, more power to you. And now the content game, I know we're not rolling in the dough, but it's a little money, and as we all grow together, it gets a little bigger. That's one of the most important things about me and using my platform to put everybody on. Is because we all got to eat, baby, especially in this economy. If I'm getting followers, you best believe I'm going to put as many sick left radicals as I can on. We're going to get these Zuck bucks. We are going to, do the things that we need to do to make sure that we're in a better position.
I appreciate that you do, man, because honestly, it's sometimes getting through the algorithm is a pain.
Yeah.
Being able to use your side of the platforms to push it out to people that would actually be interested in the news is extremely helpful.
Well, that's, like I said, that's for me, at least with the Propaganda Factory project, that's how it all kind of came about in my mind, is that it really kind of culminated at the beginning, the end of 24, beginning of 25, is that, when you look at the right, they're doing it big, and they have it from the podcast to the memes to the 4chan and all of that, all the way to the White House. And so what are we doing, because you look at the Democrats and stuff like that, and it's the party of capital. And so when I say we, I mean we working class people. I mean we who show up to places and give our souls so that our families can have decent things. That's the we that I'm talking about, not capitalists and people of capital, people who long for capital but have none. So when I looked at what working class people have, it's not much, you know? And when you look at the content game and the different array of creators, for me, I see such a vast opportunity for us to break our chains through so many different avenues of entertainment and attention monetization that these platforms have already done such you can call it amazing, you can call it horrible, whatever it is, but these things exist. So now everyone has a little screen on their phone, in their pocket, and we can tap into that in real time, And so for me, the grand vision here is all of these leftist creators just growing so substantially that we can pretty much talk to everybody in the country that's left. We talk to people around the world, and then we can start to develop the ability to do that in real time. And, that means that we control information flow. And when, we don't have to have any bosses or anything for that. I mean, look, you open up the camera, you say what you need to say about the news, and then you go about your day and do things happen and you say what you have to say. No one tells us to do that. It's just like what we want to do. And so that's why I see this opportunity for us to all come together in a way and really control the information flow that it has actually never been possible before. You had like the newspapers and you had the media and you had the different things, but now you can have a collection of just people reaching, just our follower network, 9 million in the follower count. I think it's like 8 because we lost old boy who did that fuck shit. So, we're down to maybe like 8, but across everyone that we have, and we don't communicate every day or whatever, but like if we really needed to spread something, we got 8 million followers collectively across, everybody. And that's pretty cool.
It's amazing.
And we just put that, we just kind of threw that together like at the end of last year. And, we had some dead time this last 6 months, but like, we're gearing up and we're pushing forward. And obviously things are still pumping because we're growing. So it's like, the vision is coming alive. And we see so many leftist creators that are really putting this content out every day. You're really yamming with the content. That's part of the reason I wanted to get you up. It's because, every day you're sending us the videos and you're like, hey, check this out, check that out. And that's what I said. Like, I'm actually like, you're sending me this shit every day, and what's 30 seconds? So it's like, all right, like, I'm kind of up, and then I'm seeing it on the news. And I'm like, all right, you boy, he's on his facts. He's paying attention. So, we want
to keep my head in the game.
Yeah, you got to out here. I think that's the problem with MAGA is, I don't want to say they don't have heads because obviously they do. They buy hats, but they're not in the game. Not even in the slightest.
No, they're actually very concerning how very little they'll look at facts and figures when it comes to the news. And they'll just listen to whoever is talking to them and just take that as truth.
No, exactly. One thing that I think is very interesting about one of the directions we're going in right now is that by bringing so many different types of creators together, it really makes such a wide range of like events that are possible. We're working to try to like pull something together for that, because when you really think about it, you have all these different creators in these different areas that exist already. And so like, different ones can travel and, we can all eventually do it and go back and forth and whatnot. But like, we all have like so much analytics on where our followers are, the most successful places to try to host events. A lot of people are actually geographically, content based. Like some people are, based in Portland and like their content really suits, that's probably majority of their shit and stuff like that. And so, the network that we're putting together, like people aren't realizing the intangibles, the compounding effects, all of the magic and behind the scenes that's going to really take off like very fast. I mean, just the follower counts from everyone, because everyone's still growing. So everyone's growing on like all the platforms, and everyone's not even on all the platforms yet. But
And
just
we're helping each other do that.
yeah.
That's the best part of it all.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Helping each other, encouraging each other when we're getting on, collaborating. And then this is the best part about it. We're not doing silly dances. I mean, some people do them, but I'm not doing them all the time. We're not getting on here to do silly dances or make silly content. We're getting on here to have a friendly chat right now and, throw in some serious things, but really give people a piece of our personality. That's why I like this, the long form, because people get a little bit more taste of who you are as a person. And that's the best content right now with AI slop, with all the BS, the ads, the propaganda. We put some good propaganda with a little authenticity out there, and I think people appreciate it.
What's the AI slap? I'm hearing that the AI bubble is starting to pop. So
who knows? I think maybe with the oil prices, that's probably affecting the economics of it a little bit. If we had to get into the nitty gritty of that, but one of the things for sure that is very aggravating with the AI space. So we'll start number one with the environmental degradation and the just complete destruction for these freaking computer centers. I don't understand for the life of me how people can be like, yeah, we need these data centers or whatever, because some conservatives are actually like really rocking with them, but it's like they weren't rocking with like the solar panels, and it's kind of worse. Like it's actually like substantially worse than like the solar panel things, because like there's all kinds of ways that you can integrate and do different things with the solar panels, but I don't want to digress. So that's number one. Number two, with the AI, they're putting it in everything. It's in absolutely freaking everything, and it is so aggravating to have to deal with it all the time. Like, oh my God, I just had to call. Do I call the company out? I just had to call my cell phone provider. There's only a few big boys. You can take your guess. And I'm sure they all have it. I had to freaking talk to this little AI dummy bot for like 5 minutes. And they're sitting there telling me to verify myself one way. And I'm like, I can't. Like, stop. And it just keeps on and on. I'm like, dude, like, please, just
give me a person.
Just in me. God, just do something. But yeah, just give me something. And it's like, it's in everything. And then as a content creator, I don't know how much you deal with it, but my God, the AI freaking algorithm censor has been the bane of my existence. Realistically, the AI algorithm censor is the only reason the propaganda factory actually even exists now, because I had a whole nother account and that was my fun one, and I was doing all the memes and stuff, and then it freaking took me out over a banana joke. And I swear to God, I made a joke about bananas. You go to Walmart and you get the organic bananas, but then you go to self-checkout and you just click regular. And it's like they freaking took me down for that. And it's been over 2 years now that I've lost like monetization and recommendation on that account. And which I guess I should thank the freaking AI dummy bot, because it forced me to innovate. But it's the bane of my existence. Yeah, it's the bane of my existence, man. It's like, what can I say? What can I not say? Especially in these times when you have to kind of say things really frankly and plainly and exactly like what they are.
Or when you're showing what other people are saying plainly and,
yeah,
clearly.
And
it's just not nice. And then you get flagged for that. That's what happened to me twice.
Yeah.
2 videos. People, saying things that they should not be saying out in public. And they not only flagged me for it, but now I'm like, I got 2 strikes against me.
Yeah, that's one of the more aggravating things about it as well. And there's no nuance, and there's no way to get any sort of recourse. There's no way, even if you pay for the freaking little subscription or whatever, you can't get any recourse for monetization, because like, we're broke out here. Let's everybody makes money. If the account is big enough, they make a little coin on the internet. Everybody's making a little bit of coin. It ain't much, all right? I could guarantee you It ain't much. Even your favorite creators are not making, that much coin. They do it from different ways and whatnot. But, there's no recourse. DJ Soulchild AC. I don't know if you follow him, if you're familiar with him, but he's going through it right now. So I actually went through it when they took my account. Back then, they paid a lot of money. And I was one of the top freaking creators. I don't want to gas myself too much, but I had a great month. And I'm never going to see that money. DJ Soulchild AC, similar situation right now where his main account was banned. And, he made decent money that I'm sure he was depending on for his freaking family. And this little AI dummy bot is taking people out and literally taking food out of people's mouths. And there is no way to get any sort of human recourse.
Zero. And when you try to appeal it, almost immediately still denied.
Yeah. No one looks at it. And that is going to be the reason I'm talking about this. This is the thing. People are probably like, what the hell does this matter? Because as content creators, we've actually been on the frontier of dealing with AI making decisions in our lives. And we can tell you that it going into everything is absolutely psychopathic. It is psychopathic, and it is going to create so many problems for every single person in every single way. And we are going to be so dehumanized on the other side of it. And for what? For profits? For some mega yachts and private jets? Come on.
Some millionaire can have his 10th yacht.
It's disgusting, man. And it's like, even with, we go back to the customer service example, nothing happened until a person got on the phone. They didn't have my account number. They didn't have anything. I wasted 10 minutes screwing around with a little AI dummy bot. And, it's, what are we doing, man? What?
I actually had something similar happen to me at Wendy's.
Yeah, with the freaking, the little dummy board,
I literally sat there in front in the drive-thru, just waiting for somebody to come on. I'm like, why is nobody coming on here? And I'm still waiting in line. And then I look at the board and it says, say so this little phrase so you can start talking to the AI. I'm like, oh, that's why nothing's happening. They switched over to AI. Bastards.
Everything's gonna be AI. But that's the problem. We don't own no AI. See, in a capitalist system, we ain't got no capital, so we're not doing that great. We ain't got no AI, so everything's gonna be AI, i.e. capital, i.e. the means of production. We not doing that great, man. We getting screwed right now.
Indeed.
So you had a birthday recently, huh? Is it today or yesterday?
I did. That was yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Big 3-3.
Did you do anything special?
Yeah, I went online and started making videos like I do every day.
Yeah, let's go. See, that's the commitment to the game. Even for my birthday, I was going through a lot. Still turn the camera on, It's a very weird thing. That's another reason. There's so many reasons I started bringing the creators together, but one of the reasons is that we actually deal with very unique mental health things because of the way that we're exposed and the way that the numbers and stuff like that. People just actually don't get it. Being a regular user, even if you're posting for likes and stuff like that, it's completely different than being on the other side of actually creating. And then when you throw the money into it, it's completely different. It's a whole nother thing. And to even find joy in it some days, it's how?
It's hard.
Some
days it's really hard to find joy in what I do. But most of the time, I gotta be straight up, I love it.
I love it too. I think that, because I've been in the game personally, let's see, it's 2026. I started in 2017, but I really started going hard in 2020. So it's been 6 years of me really going hard. And I do love it, but I love the way that I do it now. I look back at the different iterations of how I created content, and I mean, for starters, it used to just be memes. Like I used to just first I didn't even make memes. I used to just circulate memes, and then I started like making the memes, and then started with the video content because that's what was pushing, but then like it required my face all the time, so then I was like, all right, well, like this is what we're doing now. We're just doing this, and then just the different iterations of that. But like for me, and once the money came to it, everything kind of changed, like because you were doing it before. I mean, you said you started in 22. No, you probably did. You get monetized pretty quickly? Like, did you get monetized in 22?
Not really. No. TikTok, it was where I have my biggest following, and even when I did get monetized, the only way to actually make money is to make it do like a long form of 1 minute,
yeah,
or more, and then have that go viral, and that doesn't really happen very often for me. So
yeah, the TikTok
monetized, but I didn't see the benefits of it.
The TikTok monetization is the most trash. Substack is the best. That's why I was encouraging you. That's why we're gonna make sure to do some sort of collaboration more on that, because Substack is by far like the best monetization, and then Facebook is hands down the best and easiest, and then I think YouTube is pretty good as well. I haven't secured that one yet, but we will, especially now that we are doing this. We are going to make sure to have more regular content. But, like I was saying, I really enjoy the way that I make content now. I feel like you probably do it similarly, because I just kind of get that vibe from the way that you talk to the camera, is that you're not necessarily doing it with any intent for any numbers. You're just doing it to kind of like do it. And the other validation and the other like emotions that you get from it, like, of course the money is an aspect, but like when the camera's on or whatever, like you're not thinking about like, I got to get this money, because when the money first comes, that's what you're thinking at. For was it like that for you?
When the money first came, it felt more like, especially through Facebook, it felt more like, all right, I made it.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I can sort of like do something with this. But no, I get on the camera, and I just try to give out whatever information I find most important, or that I find that other people would find more like important and interesting.
Do you find that, because whenever I haven't been as in the news for like maybe the last 3-4 months, I haven't been as in the news. Do you find that plays a part in some of the aspects of the mental health, like just being, because it's heavy all the time,
Yeah, it does. Thankfully, I have a good psychiatrist who's got me on some decent meds for the depression, and the specific med that he got me on helps one have a healthy detachment from things that one cannot really control, especially one's own thoughts. So
I think
that, when it comes to this whole topic, is a little bit of my edge that I have when it comes to news.
Is that you're able to more so, you're detaching from what you're seeing, you're more so processing.
Exactly.
No, I get it.
Process it, and it doesn't like weigh as much on me, so I can keep going.
I found that I was definitely getting weighed down a lot. And like I said, it's not like I still know what's going on, but it's like, I mean, I spent a lot of time in my day, especially because of the way I work, just taking in real-time news just all the time. And, majority of the news is like this bad thing happened. So it definitely wore me out. I probably, played a part in a lot of different aspects of my life, just kind of degrading. But I definitely know that in the content game, one of the biggest changes for me was, because, but back in the day, like, you actually didn't have to make original content. You just like when I was posting memes and stuff, you just like took content and just like recirculated it. But then like once the money came and like things came, like changed, and so like there's a whole group and class of creators that like don't even exist anymore because they couldn't turn original content, you know. And so that's one of the interesting things about being out here and doing it with Face One camera all the time, is that you're creating original content. We're training these AIs. I think we definitely should be a little better compensated for as much as we're training these freaking AIs. But Face One camera, so you would say more overall you get like it's just happier doing that all the time, you know, like, because that's one thing that I'm curious about, if it's the same for everyone, like, you know, because we're all kind of pretty much Face On camera for the most part now. It's, you know, some of our creators are artsy and whatnot, so it's a little different, but like majority of us are Face On camera. So, you know, is it for you, like, do you find that, you know, you're happier doing it like this? Like, do you find like you're getting more satisfaction per se, or just feeling more heard and things like that, more seen?
I feel like I feel like I get more heard and seen when I see the numbers pop up and it gets to like 10K or above. Other than that, it's more. I do get mostly satisfaction from putting out the information itself, because I feel personally it feels like I'm actually able to do something with this environment that we're in, considering, you know, the administration that we're currently dealing with.
Yeah, it feels like you are expressing agency, which you are. Yeah, I would agree. I would say that for me, especially the way that I turned the project, it does make me feel substantially more satisfied, because I know, even though when I'm kind of like BSing and just posting like whatever, I know that overall the project is still like very potent and successful, because like we have a very, I don't know, we have a very good thing kind of captured in terms of being able to like pop. Like we pop pretty regularly when we need to, whenever we talking about the hard things and whatnot. Like we go very quickly. And that's part of the reason, like, I'm not like doing it all the time every day, because at least in the way that I run my ship, I like my validation all the time, but I like to know that it's real. So like, I'm not trying to go viral every day. I'm trying to say what I want to say. And then when that goes viral, it's like, yeah, bet. I knew I was valid. You know, like I knew that's what other people thought, you know? And so I like the propaganda fact.
Virality as a verification.
Yeah, as a barometer. Yeah, as a barometer for sure. And then I also like to, I'm not, at least for a while, I haven't been making content like to go viral. Like, I'm just doing what I want to do. 100% like what I want to do. It's not like got to get this money, got to get this video. It's like, no, what do I want to talk about? What do I feel like is important for, you know, myself or the working class, or what's not being said right now about this, you know, situation? Because there's all types of horrible things that are happening, that just the right things or the wrong things, like, they're not being said, especially in terms of working class people, you know? That's why I feel like, you know, even with your news, you keep it, you know, I like your slant, you know. We like to, you know, news can be biased and by whatever. I like your slant, you know. Like I said, we got to make sure the people that are saying the things that we want to hear, that's the people that we're lifting up, you know. So we kind of talked about you. I mean, is there anything more that you would like to talk about yourself, just to kind of give a little bit more of the 3D, you know, because that's what makes, at least in my opinion, the content really spicy, is when people get the 3D, you know.
I don't know. I've never really been very good at talking about myself, so it's much easier when people are asking me questions and I can respond to those questions. But me just blatant telling people what things about me is just not something that I'm used to. Right?
What would you say is what would you say is your favorite thing about yourself?
My favorite thing about myself?
Yeah.
It's an ADHD characteristic.
Okay.
I can really like focus in on something.
Okay, hyperfixation.
Oh yeah.
So you really that's
both a curse and a blessing.
So your favorite thing is your hyperfixation.
I do.
Okay.
Because what's fun about it is that one day it'll be one thing.
Yeah.
A month later it'll be something else.
Yeah.
And it keeps me like learning.
Yeah.
And it also keeps me from getting bored.
Absolutely. No, I definitely hyperfixate. Right now mine is music and music production for sure, which is something that I've done for years, but I'm very hyperfixated on that right now. And that's why I haven't been making as much content because I'm working on putting out a complete like album, which would be cool. And I'm going to try to let the community like name it and, name some songs and stuff like that. And, make some blatant propaganda, but, make some very subtle propaganda. We got to be on all fronts. So, I'm definitely familiar with the hyperfixation. I would say that my favorite trait is my creativity. Just a very like problem solving type person, always trying to innovate, always trying to come up with the new or the next or whatever, especially in terms of like my life. So I like creating, whether it's reading, writing, music, just anything that can be created. Let me see.
It is extremely helpful for the mental health.
What? Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse. I've learned though, because you have to be creative too. Even though you're reporting on the news, you're creative with the way that you're saying it, because you're not just regurgitating what they're saying. And I've learned that it's easier to sustain creativity when you're just like very kind to yourself, because whenever you're like pushing yourself to create, that's why the money kind of screwed it up for a while. When you're pushing yourself, or whenever you're like doing it for the wrong reason, or when you're just trying to make yourself do it, it doesn't really work. Like creativity is like lightning, and it has to strike you in the moment, and you have to like express it in the moment. It's not really something that you can like force. You can have workflows and all those things, but like you're not going to really get good product. Like good product comes in unique moments and from unique experience. Yeah. Yeah, when it hits, baby, The other day I'm sitting on the porch. I'm sitting on the porch the other night, cooked up like a whole song. Cooked up like the first 90 seconds and then went to sleep, woke up and was like, "Nah, that's good. We got to finish that." And I was working on a whole nother project. I was just sitting on the porch and I was like, I want to, it's hitting me. Like, it's like 1 a.m. It's like, it's hitting me. I feel it. Do you feel it? I feel it, You feel it, Mr. Krabs? But, what, do you do any other sort of creativity, outside of, the video I know that probably consumes a lot of it, but, any that we aren't seeing. Or that we're, so you, with the editing, you're doing like editing and stuff like that as well.
I did a little bit of editing more for like the hook, just to get people more attention and whatnot. But I've noticed like data wise, it wasn't really doing much, so I cut it out. It's a lot of work, a lot of time, and
yeah, it's kind of better.
It is fun. It's not very rewarding.
Right. No, I agree. It is kind of better to just run the raw, authentic. I think that's for sure why, that's part of my workflow is there's no polish on anything. We run the raw, authentic all the time. Doesn't matter what's going on, especially all the getting on the camera crying I've been doing recently. But, we live, we go through things, and we move. So what is something else to wrap up? Because, we're nearing almost an hour. We had a good little chat. And, I always say this, but I haven't had anyone come back yet. It doesn't have to be a one-time thing, especially the way that we interact. And we all kind of have these like platforms. So it's definitely something that we all need to make sure that we're using as much as possible and making sure, especially for this live button. We're live on Facebook right now. You're not, like, you can't see, and they can't see you, but they can hear you. And after the fact on all the platforms, like you'll be on there and stuff like that. But, going live on Facebook is...
I'll show up, buddy.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Okay, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe I need to make it a point to start trying to invite more creators to just kind of be like some like semi-recurring and whatnot.
Remember, this is your platform. platform. I can't just show up.
No, of course not. But I don't know. Like, I feel like I just want people to be hitting me up like, hey, what's up? Like, I could come on and be like, hey, shit, yeah, boy. Like, we ain't doing nothing, Yeah, well, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out a good way to work that in, because I definitely want, I mean, we're all like kind of friends in a way, like, and we're all becoming closer and becoming friendly. And I mean, all the people that I've talked to on the pod already, like, for the most part, every one of those people, like, I communicate with them on some semi-regular basis now. So it's a good little thing we're doing. But, yeah, we're going to work on that. And we're also working on getting, like, the shit more, like, formalized. Just, like, communicating and, like, in terms of, like, goals. And because that's one of the big things right now is just getting a good goal, like a good tangible goal for the group that we can see some good progress on, because we're all working independently and we're all accomplishing a lot. But, some good community goals. What you think about what's going on with Iran right now? You haven't been a Navy, you're being a Navy vet and whatnot.
I think that he's definitely using this to distract me from the FC files, 100%.
Yeah. I get that vibe too. Not only that, but just the complete waste of money. I mean, we look at how much money was spent, but we have student lunch debt, but we have people in the streets, but we have food getting thrown away while people can literally not afford it. Does not make a lick of sense to me. And
meanwhile, we're sending money over to a specific country that will show happy names.
Yeah.
And they get all those benefits.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm not a capitalist. I'm not some big money, big brain person. I'm just a simple chemist who has to show up for work, to put food on the table, exchanging my life force. So maybe that's the problem.
The lawyer doing the same.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem, is that we're just too simple to understand the complexity and the nuances of making, Raytheon and Lockheed Martin stock go up. I'm the dummy. I'm the dummy for not going long on those stocks, for not over leveraging. I'm the dummy for not hitting this long short oil spread right now. Let alone we barely have disposable income, liquidity, all the things that are required to participate in a capitalist market, because they absolutely starve us. But I'm the dummy that I can't hit this long short spread right now.
Facts.
It's tough out here. But all right, big dog, I'm going to go ahead and call it, because I'm going to need to go start planning dinner. I appreciate the talk. Again, everyone,
You invited me.
this is the boy Diego, also Captain Neurospicy on most platforms, also Moreno Neurospicy News on Facebook. I know that one for sure. Y'all make sure to give him a follow. Y'all make sure to stay tapped in. This is one of our Sick Left Radicals, baby. We are making sure to, just get people that are working hard. We can work independently, working towards the things that need to be worked towards. I mean, you heard him say that he takes significant pleasure just in spreading the information. So if that's not somebody, we want in the propaganda game for the working class people, then I don't know who is. So again, thank you, Diego, for your time today. And of course, we will be in touch. We'll be interacting. We'll be doing all the things continuing on. If there's anything you want to say to close out before you go.
No, I appreciate you giving me the time, putting my name out there, and again, helping me boost my message and the messages of others with your platform. So thank you very much.
Absolutely, buddy. That's what we're here for. You enjoy your day and your weekend.
You too, homie. Peace.
Yeah, buddy. With that, we are going to call it here. I appreciate everybody's time. Again, I apologize for the intermittent cadence on the podcast. I wanted to make sure to get something out for the weekend so that y'all can have, my voice. Y'all can have the movement. Y'all can have all the things. And like I previously said, just because I'm not out here every day does not mean that people aren't out here still doing the things. Does not mean that we're not still connecting with people, that we're not moving different projects forward. I personally don't have to be yamming on the camera every single day for our goals and our objectives to be obtained. We have a lot of competent people that we've collected over the last 8 months. And I think that we are going to start seeing significant dividends. We want to use that capitalist lingo. So I think we're going to start seeing significant dividends paying from the network that we're building as we leverage the opportunities that will come, as we expand, as we increase revenue, as we do all the things that they want us to do, but we do it to use it against them. And that's the problem, is that with the Democrats, with the Republicans, with the structures that we have now, we have parties of capital and we have nothing for the workers. And so that's why here on the Propaganda Factory, we are the workers. We are the propaganda. We will liquidate the billionaires. We will liberate the food, liberate the houses, liberate the healthcare. We will liberate ourselves. Again, thank you for your time. Enjoy your weekend. Another shout out to those mental health resources and just making sure that you stay tapped into any community that you can be tapped into, because you are important. You do matter. And if you can't find anyone to matter to, just come matter to me, because it is what it is, you know. Legal probably don't want me saying that, but come matter to me. I don't even care. Thank y'all again, and